ZoomInfo doesn't have a price page. Type ZoomInfo pricing into Google and you land on a form that books you a call, not a number. That's not an accident of web design, it's the pricing model. We priced out what that call actually cost, contract by contract, against a data vendor that publishes its number in plain digits, and the gap explains exactly what you're actually paying for when you buy ZoomInfo. Start with what buyers actually pay, not what a sales rep quotes first. Procurement platform Vendr tracks real signed ZoomInfo contracts, and across more than 1,500 verified purchases, the median deal lands around $33,500 a year, with individual contracts ranging from about $7,200 on the low end to over $155,000 on the high end. That spread is the tell. When the same product can cost $7,200 for one buyer and 20 times that for another, there is no list price, there's a negotiation, and how well you negotiate is part of the product. Vendr's own data even shows buyers who go in prepared save an average of about 22% off the first number they're quoted, which only makes sense if the first number was never the real one. Line up the two buying experiences side by side. To get ZoomInfo, our research found a minimum commitment of roughly $22,000 stretched across a 2-year contract, gated behind a mandatory sales call, with onboarding running 4 to 6 weeks before data actually reaches your team. Broader pricing research puts ZoomInfo's tiers around $15,000 to $25,000 a year at the entry level, climbing past $50,000 once intent data and additional seats are added. On the other side, Quarvio publishes $129 for 5,000 verified contacts. Checkout is self-serve, and delivery lands in 24 to 48 hours. One is a database you're issued after a procurement process measured in weeks. The other is data you buy the way you'd buy anything else online, measured in minutes. One buyer's account, cited in our research, captures the pattern well. We canceled ZoomInfo after year 2. We were paying $18,000 a year and using it almost exclusively to export contact lists. That's not a complaint about data quality. It's a team paying enterprise platform money for what amounted to a contact list. If export is genuinely most of what you use a database for, the platform underneath it stops paying for itself, no matter how good the underlying records are. 4 contract mechanics explain why the number keeps moving even after you sign. First, ZoomInfo sells in 1 to 3 year terms, and multi-year commitments unlock the better rates, meaning the good price requires locking in longer, not less. Second, contracts commonly carry an annual price escalation clause, typically 5 to 10%, so year 2 costs more than year 1 for the identical seats and the identical data. Third, credit usage and seat add-ons sit outside the base contract and get billed separately once a team exceeds them, which is easy to do once a workflow depends on exporting lists rather than browsing inside the platform. Fourth, none of this sits on a page anywhere. Every number in this section came from procurement data and buyer accounts, not from anything ZoomInfo puts in front of a prospect before the call happens. So what does that mean once you reduce it to a single contact? At the low end of ZoomInfo's own contract range, $7,200 a year is still an enterprise data intelligence subscription, not a per-contact purchase. There is no version of that plan priced at $129 for 5,000 names, because that was never the product being sold. Quarvio's number stays fixed regardless of who's asking, what size the team is, or how the negotiation goes. $129, one time, credits valid for 12 months, no seats, no renewal clause, no call required to find out what it costs. That's the actual gap in this comparison. It was never a feature gap, it's a buying model gap. Our verdict: ZoomInfo earns its enterprise reputation. Org charts, buyer intent signals, technographics, and CRM depth that a pure contact list will never match. And if you're running a multi-rep team against North American enterprise accounts with a real budget and a procurement process already in place, it can genuinely be worth the contract. But if what you actually need is verified contacts at a price you can see before you buy anything, that's a different product entirely, and no amount of org chart depth changes that math. In the stack we run, Quarvio supplies contacts priced and delivered like data, not like a seat license. Instantly handles send-in and warm-up. Informel keeps the inboxes clean underneath. AimFox runs LinkedIn in parallel of the email domain. Whichever database earns your budget, know the number before the call, not after it.